Hello, welcome again to FAIRtax Power Radio. I'm Bob Paxton.
And I'm Bob Scarborough.
And we are the FAIRtax Guys. My cube is around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, way over there. There you go. We got Fat Albert.
And you might cause a derailment.
Oh, yes. I'm sitting in front of a couple of steam locomotives. Well, there's a curve in the track. They're not going to hit me.
So, good. That's good. That's good.
Absolutely. Well, of course, one of those two steam locomotives, the one on screen right, is the Streamline passenger locomotive, is still running. As a matter of fact, they're going to be pulling excursions up there in Virginia, and I'm going to come up there and ride behind it here before too much longer. And so we might as well promote a couple of things here, what we're doing. Now, this is not in the can yet, so I can't tell you for absolute certain that it's going to happen, but we do have plans. If things go according to plan, yes. This program will stream on Tuesday, the 17th of October. Next week, if things go according to plan and we get this recorded on schedule, we will have John Linder with us here on FAIRtax Power Radio. And you might recognize the name. Linder was the original sponsor of the FAIRtax when it was first introduced back in 1999. He co-wrote the two FAIRtax books with Neil Bortz. And again, if all goes according to plan, we will have John Linder with us here on FAIRtax Power Radio next week, the 24th. If not, we'll have something different, and then we'll hopefully get Linder later on.
It'll just be us, near juggling.
That's just the plan. And also, we don't mention this an awful lot, but we should. Of course, we stream the video versions of FAIRtax Power Radio to Facebook and YouTube on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. But there are several different radio stations that we stream the thing on Tuesday, and then the following Sunday, they'll pick up the audio portion, and we're on several different radio stations on largely on Sunday mornings, including your WTOB there. And on Sunday, the 22nd, if you are listening to WTOB either over the air or through the internet somewhere, we will have our FAIRtax Power Radio program live and in person, so you could actually call in and talk to us instead of just listen to what we recorded, a couple of weeks ahead of time. So hopefully we can do that.
That'll be good. Yeah, we always have fun with that, and we will record it on video so that it shows up at a future time. We
will videotape that one, and if things go according to plan and we can talk to John Linder next week on the 24th, you will see what went on live on WTOB the following week, the 31st. Again, that's the plan at the moment. We'll keep your eye on FAIRtax social media accounts, because they will actually be announcing what actually does happen. And hopefully, if we can make this happen as we planned it to. But
if not, we'll be on here.
All right, let's move on a little bit. I've got another Congress.gov to play with, because a couple of weeks ago we've had Steve Hayes and John Richardson on, and wasn't able to keep up with what the Congress critters are doing to the tax code. Again, let me kind of run through this fairly quickly, because there's a lot here. But we will start with, there it is, H.R. 5849. This one caught my eye. It was the H.R. 5849, the Mobile Mammography Promotion Act of 2023. And you say, wait a minute, what does that have to do with the tax code? I didn't know there were such a thing. I figured the women needed a mammogram. They had to go into some office someplace and take care of business there. But this apparently there are mobile mammography units out there in certain places. And H.R. 5849 is a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code to allow refunds of federal motor fuel excise tax on fuels used in mobile mammography vehicles. Of course, when you fill up your car or your truck, whatever, with gasoline or diesel fuel, there is a federal excise tax included in the price of that. Last time I looked at it, I think it's around 18 cents a gallon for gasoline, 24 cents a gallon for diesel fuel. So this bill is proposing that if you put the fuel in your vehicle used for mobile mammography, that you can apply to have the tax you paid on that fuel refunded back to you.
Again, do we need to cut one more thing to keep up with? It's what? Wait a minute. Where did I put my my receipts for? Where did I put my receipts? I think they're in my back pocket. Oh no, I washed them. It's like keeping up with all this stuff, why would you, no.
Okay. So this is Representative Blaine Luckenmeyer, Luet. This is written awfully close to the screen here. Luetkemeyer Luckenmeyer from Missouri says, all right, we if you run a mobile mammography unit, we will refund back to you the fuel tax that you pay when you fill it up with gas or diesel fuel, whichever it is. I don't think that needs any more commentary. But in a somewhat similar vein, S3002, a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code to modify the clean fuel production credit to provide a special rate for sustainable vessel fuel. The complexity of the tax code is a wonderful thing, is it not?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, let's keep.
I could just read publication 17 all day. I've almost got all the configurations, variables memorized. So if anybody needs to know, just get in touch with me. Yes.
Okay, see if you can figure this one out. HR 5821 to amend the Internal Revenue Code to provide for a credit against tax for expenses for translational research regarding neurodegenerative diseases and psychiatric conditions. A credit against tax for expenses for translational research. I didn't have time to look up what translational research is or how it regards to neurodegenerative diseases or psychiatric conditions, but there it is in the tax code if HR 5821 passes and is signed into law. I see I've stunned you into total silence with that, have we?
Yes, I'm looking up transitional research.
Oh, okay. While you're doing that, let me go on to the next one.
There is an actual institute for transitional research. Okay. And it's here in Winston-Salem, by the way.
Oh, is it translational research? Is that what that? Yeah, it says translational research. I guess if something's written in French and you got to translate it in English so you can read it, who knows? Let's go on. HR 5803. Oh, you got it? Go.
Well, the TSI-CRU University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that's called the Progressive Care Building. It's about 1.5 miles from here, probably over there at Wake Forest Baptist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is meant by translational research? Transitional research seeks to produce more meaningful, applicable results that directly benefit human health. The goal of translational research is to translate or move basic science discoveries more quickly and efficiently into practice.
Oh, okay. So I guessed wrong on what it might have been.
That was pretty good. I mean, I think you have to navigate the FDA for a lot of that right now.
Yes, but you have to have that in the tax code, right?
Yeah, we got to put it in there. Yeah.
Okay, well,
go ahead.
Let's try this one. HR 5803 to amend the Internal Revenue Code to establish a tax credit for installation of regionally significant electric power transmission lines. Again, I have stunned you into silence with that one. That is Representative Stephen Horsford of Nevada, District 4.
Horse feathers, did you say? Horster?
Horsford, 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 Stephen, Democrat, Nevada, District 4.
Again, the tax code has so much in it that focuses on about that much each time. Mm-hmm. There's a changed in there. There's only that much that it actually, a group of people or associational, that it actually helps.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't cover all of us. When you think about taking all of that, okay, so you got your CPA, you got your lobbyist, you got the guy in Washington that's going to put it into Congress.gov, into the bill and everything, and it's only going to affect one industry or a small part of an industry or your business, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, the tax code, widens out to another page or two there, but if that goes on a lot, it's thousands more pages and words that that come in that mean nothing for a lot of people, but something for one or two businesses. So FAIRtax, simple, efficient, fair. I think the banner says that somewhere at the bottom, at the top. Simple, efficient, visible. And and that's what we're all about, is to take the complexities of tax compliance and put it in a more user-friendly way. And that, of course, is the tax on consumption, promoted by us as HR 25 in Congress right now. And so that's what we're all about.
Yep.
Simple.
Let's return the tax code to its intended purpose. That is, collecting the revenue the government needs, and quit making it do all this other stuff. One more, if I'm not mistaken, this one looks familiar. I think this was in the Hall of Shame last week or last year, and it's back. So I may put it in the Hall of Shame again for this year. S 2994, bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code to support upgrades at existing hydroelectric dams in order to increase clean energy production, improve the resiliency and reliability of the United States electric grid, enhance the health of the nation's rivers and associated wildlife habitats, and for other purposes. Do we put that one in the Hall of Shame? I think we did last year. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead.
Pop it in there, buddy.
Okay.
And you know what I think we need to do? I think we need to create a certificate suitable for framing and send it to the representatives that put these ideas, these concepts into the tax code. I think it would be a, Hall of Shame.
Okay. Well, could be. We may have to do that. Okay, that'll wrap up that segment for this time. We spent a little extra time on it this time because we did missed it for a couple of weeks with Steve and John with us talking about the Moore case. Again, encourage people that are not familiar with this Moore versus United States case to check that thing out, because that's going to decide what taxation in America is going to look like. If the IRS and Congress are going to be given a green light to tax money that you have made on paper, but you don't have in your pocket. So let's hope they rule that one the right way. We'll not spend any more time on that here. But we do have something else we want to get into, and that is, we have mentioned several times that FAIRtax.org is a wonderful, wonderful resource for learning about the fair tax, getting answers to questions about the fair tax, and working how things work. There's an entire research section. If you go to their landing page, and right across the top, there's a menu about, get involved, how it works, news, and then research. And if you open up that research tab, there is all kinds of information in there regarding how the fair tax will impact various different aspects of our lives: agriculture, business, charitable giving, finance and investing, real estate, taxes, tax reform, etc. And one of the things that's listed under the research tab is that how the fair tax would impact health care. Now, that is that's something that a lot of people are interested in, and we get questions a lot about how the fair tax impacts health care. So we're just kind of got to go through this article that's published in the research section of FAIRtax.org. You had to scroll all the way to the bottom of it to find out that it was written by Dr. Karen Walby, Director of Research, Americans for Fair Taxation. This was in 2015. There wasn't a byline up on top, so Karen Walby did write this. How does the fair tax affect the cost of health care? Explanation, and a case study. In the first sentence, there seems to be some confusion about how the fair tax would affect health care. You think so? Mercy. Excuse me. I may need a little health care here if I can't get this little tickle in my...
I can't jump in there and give you the Heimlich maneuver or anything. Bob, of course, is subsidizing the show here today with a healthy dose of cheer wine.
Yes, I'll have to get rid of this little tickle in my throat by washing it down with cheer wine here.
That's the American way right there.
Here we go. First thing to understand is that a tax on final consumption, which the fair tax is, it taxes each new good or service once and only once. So under the fair tax, health insurance is taxable. When you pay the fair tax on your health insurance premiums, you are, in effect, prepaying the fair tax on your health care spending. So when a hospital or your doctor submits a bill to the insurance company to pay your claim, there's no fair tax on that transaction, because
Correct.
taxing both premiums and benefit payments would result in double taxation. And again, the fair tax taxes everything once and only once.
Correct. That's and so the transaction again between the hospital, doctor, healthcare service provider, no matter what it is, if it was paid for or is paid for through your insurance policy, your insurance carrier, there would be no tax transaction between those two entities.
Mm-hmm. If your premium is $400 a month for health insurance, including the fair tax, that would mean you're paying $308 for your insurance and $92 for the fair tax. This is appropriate because it's a retail service. The insurance is a retail service. Of course, you have to compare this to the tax treatment under the present income tax system. Because again, for most people who have a combined income and payroll tax rate of 22.5%, in order to pay that $308 for insurance, you have to earn $398 in gross pay in order to net that. So that's the thing that most people lose sight of.
Yeah. It is the fact that, and of course, your $398 outside of the fair tax under the current system includes the federal tax on your labor, and also for the Social Security and survivors benefits, Medicare rather, and Social Security. So 398 becomes something a lot less in terms of gross numbers. When your payroll, your dollar that you make to go to work, as far as what comes out for the feds, comes down to nothing.
Mm-hmm. Let me run this by you here real quick. If you purchase healthcare services directly from your doctor or hospital, for example, copays and deductibles, then the charges are taxable. Now, if the insurance benefit is paid directly to you, it would include a credit, which would be an additional amount equal to the taxes due, to prepay any taxes due as the benefit is spent. Remember, you tax it only when you pay the premium for the thing. So if you paid $100 for an exam, for example, $77 for the exam and $23 in tax, because the doctor's services is a service and would be taxed, then you filed an insurance claim, you'd receive that benefit check for $100. Not just the $77. You get the full $100, $77 reimbursing you for the exam, and $23 reimbursing you for the tax you paid when you paid for the exam. So again, it's only taxed once. That's pretty cool. Absolutely.
The fair tax will reduce doctors' cost of doing business substantially, thereby allowing for lower pre-tax charges. The fair tax I'll say that again. The fair tax will reduce doctors' cost of doing business substantially, thereby allowing for lower pre-tax charges. And I think, you have networks that you're in, if you're in the Blue Cross Blue Shield, or you're in some other type of plan, or you have Medicare, all of these pre-negotiated rates that doctors can't charge more than a certain amount. They charge, they see that number go down due to the fact that the actual amount that would be negotiated from the insurance company would go down. And as we've said, competition across markets, across services and goods and products and things, the cost of bringing those services to the consumer will be reduced based on competition and the fact that the embedded taxes that it took to get to that price that you're being charged will be eliminated. The taxes in those charges that would normally be, in what the price of your service from the hospital in this case would be, it'd be a lot less. Imagine the cost of building a facility to provide you with the service that you're going to get. You're going to walk in the building, and they just built a new building. Well, the material that went into making that building, the wood, the steel, the concrete, the rebar, the paint, the labor, all those costs get reduced. So overall, the dollar that you spend at Dr. Zhivago's office is going to be a lot less. Dr. Vinnie Boombot, everybody remembers Vinnie Boombot from.
Oh yes, I remember Dr. Kildare. I'm old enough to remember that from. Go look that up in your Funkin' Wagnalls.
The prices are going to go. They're going to go down. Competition is going to allow it, and then you as a consumer get to figure out. Are you going to go to one doctor or the other for your particular service that you're looking for, whether it be outpatient or some type of surgery? You get to choose that now. That will change.
All right, a couple more points here in this article I want to get to before we run out of time. It says the FAIRtax treats healthcare services the same as the purchase of any other goods or services in the marketplace. Makes no difference whether an employer or an individual purchases the health insurance. The tax treatment's the same. This helps create a competitive market for health insurance and restores economic-based decision-making free of tax distortions, again, resulting in greater competition. Now, let's scoot down a couple of paragraphs here to this case study. Again, this is again written by Dr. Karen Walby. And get into that case study real quick.
Sure. In 2013, my husband had colon cancer. During the course of his illness, he had colon surgery, a week hospital stay, and 6 months of chemotherapy, at least 3 colonoscopies, and several PET scans and MRIs. His doctors and the hospital billed his health insurance $202,333 in 2013.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more than that today, but that was then.
Yeah.
But the concept is the same. Keep going.
My husband's total out-of-pocket healthcare expenses, Medicare and Medigap premiums, copays and deductibles were approximately $7,100. Under the income tax system, since my husband was self-employed and in the 25% tax bracket, he had to earn over $11,894 gross wages to net the $7,100, making the effective income payroll tax cost nearly $4,794. Although $202,333 was billed to Medicare and Medigap insurances, the insurers approved benefit payments to the doctors and hospital of only $45,000. Only $45,000. Wow. An example of just how distorted the healthcare market has become. If the FAIRtax had been in effect then, neither the total $203,333 billed nor the $45,000 of benefits paid would have been taxable. The FAIRtax would have been owed on just the total of his insurance premium payments and out-of-pocket expenses, or $7,100. So out of the total of $52,000 plus in premiums and benefits paid, the FAIRtax would have only been $2,130 compared to $4,794. And again, for those of you listening and watching, you want to go to fairtax.org, click on the research tab, healthcare underneath that, to read exactly what we're talking about right now. So go ahead and sum up the benefits of the FAIRtax to the industry, insurance industry, and to we, the people, the consumers.
Yes, several points here to wrap this up. One, the pre-tax cost of insurance should drop as income and payroll taxes and their compliance costs are eliminated. The average American takes home their whole paycheck with a FAIRtax. Health insurance premiums are taxable, but health insurance benefits received are not. Those are tax-free. And the natural markets are restored to the purchase of health insurance, helping control and even lower future healthcare costs. Again, all that is under the research tab and the healthcare section on fairtax.org. And we would urge people to go to fairtax.org, get into that research section. There are about a dozen different things that there's research there on how the FAIRtax would affect it. Healthcare was just one of them. So it's really, and I'll tell you what else you can go to. I'm going to do a little pivot here to fairtaxstore.org. FAIRtax Store. Remember the scrolling banner you've got right there? Pick it up and show everybody the scrolling banner. You can get one at the fairtaxstore.org for just $2.49, free shippings. I'd pay $2.49 for one of those, wouldn't you?
Might as well get 4 and give 3 of your friends one and say, help me get the FAIRtax passed.
Yep.
One of these are great. You can swat flies with them, and you're shooting archery and everything. It's
Yeah, let me run one more thing here. Even though we call that the FAIRtaxStore.org, and most people associate the word store with a profit-making business. This is not a profit-making business. As a matter of fact, the FAIRtax Store is kind of run by the folks here in Florida, the Florida FAIRtax Educational Association. And every so often at the board meetings we have to approve an expenditure, usually 4 figures worth, to keep the store going, to keep merchandise in there, because we pay the cost of shipping. We charge for the items that we do charge for. There are some things you can get absolutely free, like these little palm cards, or you can get these business size, that's upside down, these upside down prebate cards that have the prebate schedule on the back of it. Those are free. Get as many as you want. No charge for the cards, no charge for the shipping at FAIRtax Store, not FAIRtax, FAIRtaxStore.org. I'll get it straight here in a minute.
Love it. And there's a coffee mug out there. There's a sunshade for your car. Imagine going and parking your car at a football game or going to the mall or something like that.
Yes,
and
roll tide.
Even in the dead, that's right. Even in the dead of
you knew I had to sneak that in there.
It was coming. Knew it was coming. Knew it. So FAIRtax signage, the sunshades that you put on your on your windshield to keep the dashboard from in your steering column from burning your fingers off when you get back in the car.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is only $14 at FAIRtaxStore.org under promotional items, and you can pick that up and you can go park in a parking lot somewhere where there are a lot of cars, and you could sit in it and blow the horn to get attention if you wanted to. But I mean, people can see. It's all about impressions. It's all about letting people know what we're doing, what we're all about. The printed material.
Yeah, got to put a FAIRtax sign on the front of one of those locomotives back there. That would work.
Stickers on there too, aren't they? Aren't there bumper stickers out there?
Yeah, they do have bumper stickers. There's a stickers section there at FAIRtax.org. Yeah, those are only like $1 a piece, which is next to nothing, which is why I was since we sell them for less than it costs us to get them, that's why the Florida FAIRtax Group has to keep subsidizing the store. But you can get FAIRtax stuff, and we urge you to do that. And also, real quick, again, if things go according to plan, as we hope they will, we will have John Linder on the program next week here on FAIRtax Power Radio. Hopefully you can tune in for that. But that's going to wrap up this edition of FAIRtax Power Radio for this week. Thank you again so much for watching and listening and sharing the videos. And hopefully we'll see you here again on WTOB live on the 22nd. So if you don't live in Winston-Salem area, you can still pick up the station. They stream on several websites, WTOB980.com. Isn't that right?
That's the one.
Okay, you can listen live there. So catch FAIRtax Power Radio at 8 a.m. on Sunday the 22nd. That will be replayed on our regular streams about a week and a half later. But that, again, is going to wrap up this edition of FAIRtax Power Radio. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm Bob Paxton.
Bob Scarborough.
We are the FAIRtax Guys, reminding you the FAIRtax is the only truly fair tax, and once you understand it,
you'll demand it.
So what do you need from me to get these taxes collected?
Glad you asked, because there is a fair amount of information you need to be aware of.
That's your tax plan?
Oh, no, this is just the revisions for this year's tax plan. What I need from you is you need to keep track of all of your income, as well as any taxes that you've already paid. Also, any gifts that you received or gifts you've given to churches or charities or individuals throughout the entire year. Do you do any side jobs?
Every now and again.
Great, because there's some more information about that right here. Everything you need to know right here. So just simply compile that, send it in to us. Be careful, make sure there's no mistakes. If we do find mistakes were made, we can fine you or, throw you in jail. So you might want to be aware of that.
And what do you need from me?
As an individual, nothing. As a business owner, or if you're doing side jobs, yes, you would have to collect taxes on that, but it's all right here.
Can I get a